Good morning, good morning, good morning. Again, I love the smell of napalm. No, this is your brother, always your host from Black Lives Matters Flint Incorporated. Today is a wonderful and exciting day. Again, greetings, everyone out there in our universe. Today is an interesting day. I don't know how I feel. I just learned that Kyle Rittenhour just was found not guilty. I think that's unacceptable. Today we was having a beautiful brother, a businessman, entrepreneur, and minister. Mr. Jannard was our guest host today that we're going to be interviewing. I've been wanting to have a conversation with this beautiful brother for a while. He's doing some awesome work and trying to see how we can connect together and join forces as far as adding solutions to our community. I think in the face of everything that's going on, how do we work on stop being jealous of each other, stop being envy of each other, stop being ashamed of each other? How do we really work on changing? And what does change really mean? This platform is designed for us to have a community conversation. I have sought, and there's been a few guests. I try to make sure that designed even when someone counsels on me, and at the last minute, it really makes it difficult because I have to deny somebody else to come because I say, well, someone is coming, and so I'm really kind of set back that Mr. Jannard didn't make it because I put all my baskets and eggs and elephants and horses all in one cart, So again, that's part of the responsibility of being trying to build this platform, trying to engage our community where we are moving forward and not backwards. I do want to thank all those members that are connected to Black Lives Matter Flint, all of our queens and our kings. I know sometimes it can be difficult just living our daily lives and how we are engaging in this activist work. This activist work is not for everybody. It destroys family. I mean, if you know any history about, Dr. King, Malcolm, and Marcus Garvey, and even when you think about Paul Robeson and Jack Johnson, Jack Johnson was an advocate, activist. When you look at his work, I mean, even though he loved white people and white women, he had a fetish for wanting to be white, especially as black as he was. But that's also, even though he was a heavyweight fighter, he was psychologically poisoned. But then we can't dismiss his greatness. So also, I'm just saying he was an activist in his own way. I mean, he refused to bend to the insanity, in many situations. I just want to share this with you guys. Did you guys know hurricanes? I want y'all to hear me. Do you know hurricanes in the history of mankind started after they started importing slaves to the Western Hemisphere? This is a known fact. Before that, they really didn't happen, guys. In the history of, when you think about how the earth turns on its axis and how storms are created. Storm starts, everything starts in Africa. And it's a known scientific fact that hurricanes starts in Africa, and then they track the same way they tracked those slave ships. That is the path of the hurricanes. Because the hurricanes don't go up to Canada. They never go to Canada. Y'all think about that. Hurricanes never go to Canada. But they start in Africa, come up through the Caribbeans, and up through North America, and don't touch Canada. Holla. Now you tell me something about how our creator have designed things and how in time, how the impact of the insanity of human beings and how human beings destroy other human beings. Totally changed the pattern of the weather on planet Earth. Holla. And then they let this white devil off. My heart is heavy. I'm in therapy, And sometimes my therapist, man, I know she look at me like I feel for her. She's good. I mean, I've been really, really having some breakthroughs, trauma with my dad and, early history from Chicago and, all those kind of unpacking some things, so you can be your best. I really appreciate, my ex-wife, Deborah Davis, who I love immensely. And I wish she and I could get back together. Just tremendous. When you really find the queen, a lot of times we don't realize how stupid we are, as far as our man, macho, chauvinist insanity. And, we have a tendency to damage people and not learn our lessons from that damage, And then, the whole thing about growing old and dying alone, that right there is totally unacceptable. Um, but today we were going to talk with Mr. Gennard about a plethora of things, along with the work that he's doing and how we could somewhat marry some things together because he has a network of people. He's a young man. Really wanted him to connect with and see if he was interested in being a part of our Greet the Students, our Men of Valor, Walking the Halls, our mentoring efforts in the community. We do have several things going on. Right now, we are mentoring, or I personally am mentoring at shout out to Mr. Moore, Mr. Miller, Urban Boy Scout, across from Regency's condominiums. I don't call them projects, I call them Regency condominiums because we changed the name because we changed our mentality. That's from 4 to 6 on Wednesday. Then I do a thing with EJ, First Class Cuts. Beautiful brother. He has the Flint Flames. It's a youth academy for basketball, but I teach everything from etiquette to character building, personal responsibility. Make sure they are financially literate, understanding that even at 10 years old, we want them to be aware about money. Um, Teaching tie and ties, hygiene, and the list going on. We also are engaging in some things over at Southwestern. It still haven't manifested itself on Wednesday. They keep dragging their feet. The school board is the Flint school board is unacceptable. We've been ready to go, for 4 or 5 months, and they still dragging their feet as far as getting us in there where we can work with these 25 boys. And I know you guys been hearing all this crazy stuff was happening at Southwestern. A lot of it is because the children don't feel loved by the teacher. A lot of the teachers they are from a temp service, Edu Staff and Red Rover. They're not real teachers. They're substitute teachers. And again, if you don't pay teachers, we want to pay law enforcement, but not teachers. We're going to give law enforcement all this kind of money and they're doing their jobs along with any other white person who want to kill anybody they want to, because it definitely ain't about no black people having any rights. Like you say, trans and EWW, have more rights than black people. Asians and Koreans, everybody else have more rights than we do. And we 40 million people, 13% of the population. And we run around down in Memphis, Tennessee, rapper get killed over some bars. Over some bars, y'all. Over some words. When they're not talking anything about building businesses, reclaiming their hood, rehabbing all those crack babies in the crack houses in the community. As opposed to having all that jewelry around them neck, all that tattoos on their body, they look like a joke. So again, the solutions to our situations, guys, is us working together and reclaiming our rightful place and order as far as loving one another and building our communities as far as everything we use, we should be either owning it, producing it, making it, or going without it. After this white boy killed other white people, how can basketball players and football players and all these players continue to play the game called this country? How do you spend your money in this country and they have weaponized thought? They have weaponized opinion. If you say something about a trans or a gay person, you are vilified. But Jewish people are untouched. If you say anything about somebody else, but they can walk over, piss over, destroy, and kill black people on the daily, and we do nothing. Our young women, it's appalling. Our young women just see themselves as a sexual object. Our young men feel they have nothing to live for. And then these people that I'm talking about have the nerve to perform a sex act and have a child. And then we got a system that's saying, again, back in 1954, Adlai Stevenson was very clear. You don't say nigger, nigger, nigger. You do the abstract words which say cutting taxes, forced busing, crime, Willie Horton, all that BS. See, again, when you think about cutting taxes and then white people and all these industries get all these tax breaks, when you cut taxes, I want you black people to get this. Because to run a municipality or even to run your house, you got to have money to run your house. You got to have money to run programs in and out of school. When you think about the roads, if you think about the internet, whatever you think about, guys, it takes money. So if you don't have no money and you're not producing nothing, so they call that welfare. But they give white people all the welfare in the world. Oh, they call it tax breaks. They call it trickle down Ronald Reagan economy. They say it's going to trickle down white people. Do y'all know the stock market is higher than it's ever been? The stock market is higher than it's ever been, guys. And people are suffering on the daily, man. And these big millionaires and billionaires don't care anything about you and I. They don't care anything about the water, the infrastructure. They are tight. I mean, they have the $200 and $300 million yachts. You think about that. You got so much money that your yacht is outfitted with gold-plated toilets and faucets. I mean, you think about that. So is that should I or you be jealous of that? Envious of that? You want to be chasing the bag. You want to be a baller shot caller. You want to have all this money to do what? To go to the strip club? I mean, what do we really to buy a house? You're going to buy a house that's 65,000 feet. It's got 400 rooms in it. And then we run around here shooting and killing each other over nothing. While you got Britain and all these other places, these countries, the Queen Elizabeth, they are appalling what they have done and raped countries and raped people. But we look up to them as our idols. We cherish them. We want to be white so bad. Serena and Venus Williams. I went to see King Richard last night, and they got the nerve to have white men in their lives, man. I think it's appalling how we just bastardize ourselves. They got the nerve to have Will Smith play a part, and Mr. Richard is darker than myself and the bottom of my shoe. You mean to tell me they couldn't have found a darker actor to play and respect the whole concept of colorism? Because we keep wanting to be white so bad. It's just appalling, as far as where we're going to go from here. And the winter getting ready to come up. And then you think about, what's going on with Black Lives Matter. I know you guys don't see, in front of the scene, but even behind the scene, we too got some issues. As far as working together, and building this thing because a lot of times people don't come on board unless they got an agenda, unless they done been hurt. Um, a number of things normally people don't get involved in this kind of activist work because they're so fearful of what may happen to their livelihood because they're on the titty or their livelihood is all based on white people controlling it. And so white people cut your money off real quick. When you speak out. Uh, and I'm just being prayerful, man, that something will change. My commitment to coming every the first and the third, having this conversation. I had thought that at least my email and my phone number be blowed up saying, Mr. Roberts, we would like to come on the show. We have some things we want to say. We really have some things we want to get off our chest. Matter of fact, we got some solutions because that's what we're really trying to focus on, solutions. We're not trying to just keep stirring up the gumbo. We're really trying to put some energy behind some action. Like Monday coming up, we're going to be at New Standard, greeting the students at New Standards, 6:45 and 7:45 a.m. this Monday coming up. We also got a holiday drive coming up. If you guys want to support, other people that are less fortunate than you, please drop off your items at the Black Lives Matter office, 2712 North Saginaw. It's the old Oak Business Center next to Job Corps. Last year we did survey over 800 people. This year we'd like to even bump that up. We're looking for volunteers if you want to be a part of this. And so 10, 11 to 5 every weekday, you can come down and drop your items off. We've been prayerful that you guys will support this effort as far as giving back. It's so important for us to be service to one another. One thing that we got to realize, we are going to die, and so we can choose how to live. So if you think of it this way, if you think about, what is your investment with human beings? And so a lot of times we are paying rent while we on this planet or while we're alive. So when we paying rent, how do we pay rent? With our service to one another. See, y'all was thinking about money. Y'all go right to money. Y'all go right to diamonds and all that stuff, man. Cars and all that. But don't realize that the service that we share and barter amongst ourselves, that's the most purest form of love. When you really break it down to what love really means, love is spelled Time. So the time we spend with one another, be it conversationally, physically, mentally, emotionally, when I spend time with you, and that's one thing that I feel so rewarding about working with children and young people. It takes a little bit bumpy at the start, but if you be committed, showing up, sooner or later they're gonna say, "Man, this person, really cares." Cause I done threw everything at them not to care. Nobody care about me, so why would this man or woman care about me? But if you be committed to show up after some of the abuse, man, you have a different person because then they say, "Man, this person really care." And that's all any of us want. I don't care who you are. All of us wants to be loved. Everybody listening to my voice or not. And even when you think about it, do any of us hear the tree that just fell in the forest around the world? There was a tree that just fell on its own. Did any of us hear it? I mean, think about that, guy. Did any of us hear a tree that just fell? And what's the significance of that? The significance I go back to our commitment to each other and stop being ashamed of each other and stop being jealous and envy of each other. The commitment is saying that tree that nobody heard, all of us wants to be heard. Our young people in those jails and those dismal crypts and those plantations are filled, guys, with people that felt unloved and we continue to perpetuate it on a daily basis. You know, I got to get y'all to hear me. Think about this. In 1990, there were 64 billionaires. 64. In 2021, there's over 700 billionaires in America, more than any other country in the world, more than any other country on the planet. And they got the nerve. Man, they got the nerve. They have taken away unions. They have stripped any opportunity away from really being able to pull yourself up from the invisible bootstraps. And then they want to blame you and criminalize you because you can't compete, because you started out with nothing. Listen, guys, we started out in this country with zero. Wasn't no 40 acres and no mule. Wasn't no opportunity to just be free after they decide to free us, which was a lie. When they decide to give us the right to vote, which was a lie. When they said that you're going to have public education, which is a lie. When they say you're going to have opportunities for employment. But one thing they classically did, they brought in that 13th Amendment. And if you are a felon for the rest of your life, unless you white, you will be denied opportunities to be a whole human being. And then what they did was, look at the classic play. They created laws to lock you up. Now, one person of color owns a private prison. Do y'all know that there are over 10 opportunities to buy stocks in your portfolio on the stock market? Correction Corporation of America is the number one. Holla. Most of the senators and congressmen have stocks. And a lot of these private prisons, do you know, from the clothing to the food to the medicine to anything that you can imagine, they're making millions of dollars because they own the supply chain. Now y'all dig this, man. And what's going on with the supply chain and all this stuff at the border, all that's a Trump move. Those are people that are showing fealty to Trump as far as screwing up the trade. That was done intentionally, guys. See, when we think about it, they playing chess while we ain't even playing a game. That's the sad part about it. We can't say checkers. We not even at the table because we haven't been invited. We too scared yes a boss to kick the door in. And we definitely scared to build our own table. We keep asking them for water. We keep asking them for the right to vote. We keep asking, white man, please, please save us. Please save us. Oh, save me, white man. White man. Oh, love my white men. Oh, I love my white women. We just sick. It's just sickening as far as our behavior. It's our fault. Everything that's happening to us is our fault. Here and over the world. How in the world we playing basketball? And don't no black players on 100% of no teams. Football, basketball, baseball, colleges, D League, B League, W League, 3-on-3 league, even with Ice Cube and that crazy stuff. I mean, again, all that glitters ain't gold. Prince had it. Prince was on point. Just because it glitters and it's shiny, because we're doing the Jim Jones. We're doing the daily Jim Jones shuffle, We poisoning and killing each other. Because I think it's appalling what happened down there in Memphis, man. And I got issues with these rappers and their lyrics, man. But I definitely got issues with a young man losing his life over some bars. And then you got Soldier Boys and all these, just some ignorant A people, man. And a lot of them talk about coming from the hood, and they wasn't in the hood. You think about that, man. Art imitating life. And you talking all that, like you say, to me, Drake sound like he retarded. Just insane, some of this music that our young people listen to, and you wonder why they insane. Look what they feeding them. You take in garbage, you're going to be garbage, man. Now, if you take in white Jesus theology, uh, you'll be screwed up too, man. Because this white Jesus got us, man. White Jesus screwed us up, guys. This white Jesus screwed us up, man. You know. So again, I really think that it's so important for us to really start doing some things ourselves. We got this new city council that's already shaping up to be insane. You know, because again, you come in with a mandate. You know, you come in locally. You got to talk all you want to talk about national, but power is local. You know, when you control your the DA, the judges, all the judges are white downtown. 80, 80,000 people in Flint. You got all judges white. And then the black judges are white. Just because they black, they white. You know, Perry and Marble and all them people, man, they white. So again, what chances do we take? And then, you know, they done bought the steak. You know, they done bought the steak and the caviar because they look at us as criminals. You know, how dare we voice any concern about our condition? You know, because white men pay their bills. And y'all think about it. You guys keep wanting to get treated differently, you know, and they don't want to talk about critical race theory or defunding the police. You know, how is it that they done killed and destroyed all the unions, but the police got a union? How did that work, y'all? I mean, how does it work that we keep being bamboozled and hoodwinked and enjoying it? Because we still gonna go party. We still gonna play. Go to. Oh, we still going to the casinos. Oh man, a number of black people at the casino. We still gonna do all these things, right, to distract us from the realities of life, from the real issue about controlling our own narrative. We're gonna do all these other things so we don't have to be responsible, because that's what it means. See, when you control something, you being responsible. When you control your home, being responsible. When you control your body, you being accountable. And again, you can't obfuscate your responsibility. You can't say I'm a victim. You know, just like Kyle Rittenhour said, he's a victim. He murdered two people and wounded one, and these white people are happy, man. I mean, they gonna have a parade like the Super Bowl parade for that white boy. Do you know all them white people that got off? They had a nut, man. When he was found not guilty, all them white people had a climax, man. You know, this is what we're dealing with. That kind of perverted sickness is what we allow to happen. And in my opinion, I'm not a real advocate no more of marching and protesting no more. It's about burning white people's spaces down, man. How you gonna live in a country and enjoy the benefits of all this luxury and all this gluttony and all this insanity, and you can still go home and sleep and eat? And you just in, do you know what that's gonna do to that boy if he didn't kill these people, y'all? Do you know what kind of money he gonna be making? Just like George Zimmerman, man. Just like any police officer. When they to kill a Negro makes you a hero. People got mad at me when I wore that T-shirt. I still got it. I've been trying to calm down, not wearing the T-shirts, right? Because uh, I'm getting so fed up with our own people, right? You know, even when me protesting out there by myself, guys. You know, I be out in Grand Blanc, flushing different places, protesting, you know, with my own signs. Like I got one now out in the truck, you know, boycotting the NFL, you know. Uh, and my own people look just like me and you know. Uh, man, I love football, man. What do you mean? What, man? They got a job, they got to work, man. How you gonna tell them to boycott and tell us to boycott football, man? Insane, guys. Just insane, guys. Because when you take control of the little power you got, because we ain't got no real power. So the little power we got is our bodies. So if you cut off the NFL revenue, the NCAA revenue, oh man, you can get some laws changed. You can get a different conversation. One thing white people love is that money. That's their God. They got us tricked on white Jesus. We stuck in white Jesus. They Jesus, our lives, money, 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 money. They will do anything for that money, money, money. They'll sell their mama, they'll bone their daughter for that money, 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 money. They ain't got no problem doing whatever it can, get that money, 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 money. That's their God. As long as I got that money, I can do whatever I want. I can go hang gliding, ballooning, scuba diving. I can screw up the planet. I can poison Flint. I can throw my fingers up at Flint. I can walk. I can boo boo on black people in Flint because I got the money. And that's what they're doing. They're crapping all over black people in Flint. And we're a joke, you know. And then y'all gonna be up in arms when we're gonna be taken over by the suburbs. You know, Flint will be no more. You know, they don't even want Flint. Suburbs don't even want, Flint to be identified as part of them, right? You know, they making sure that they don't want to be smeared by Flint, but they embrace Kyle Rittenhauser, Hauser, and they will embrace Senator Manchin and Sinema, you know, and Mitch McConnell, Ronald Reagan, Donald Trump. They embrace that. They celebrate that. Do you know that, man? They got their trucks, their houses draped in flags, man. Out there in Clio, you wouldn't believe it, man. Out there in Clio, y'all, man, how they got, man, they just got, I mean, real KKK. I mean, the KKK, and that's what I'm saying, man. If we gonna go, man, let's go. You know, if it's got to be we, because why should you live here and I continue to live in misery? That don't add up, guys. Some gotta go. Some gotta give, man. You know, every time you turn around, you know, our children are being taught by people that hate them.
So you saying it's American nightmare then?
No, I don't think it's a nightmare. I think America is a reality. I think we are. I think, you know, when you say nightmare and you use that terminology, I think it's a situation where we are intentionally, overwhelmingly, and enthusiastically uh, wanting to be white. So no, it's not a nightmare. It's a it's a beautiful thing to many of our people. It's a beautiful thing. It's not a nightmare.
But then we just celebrated Veterans Day, right? How did you feel about that?
Uh, Even though I participated and supported some veterans, totally against it. And one thing that I can separate, I respect some people that chose to go and support the insanity of the United States government because their history, along with many European countries, is butchery and debauchery and have nothing to do with human rights. It's about profit. But to answer your question specifically, no, I really have an issue with this whole military, celebrating military for destroying other nations and other cultures, because that's what military does.
No, that was the point I was going to say. That was what I was trying to get at. Because I look at how we, reason I said a nightmare, look how we get involved in the things that America doing, and we as a people. I just mean it, just blacks, but whites, who are all part of this American construct or this gumbo. We go into other countries, kill, then we come back and celebrate them. But yet, the black man get treated like filth. Just think we done fought in every war. For what?
Well, you know that we have fought because we wanted to be included and we wanted to be included in this delusion. See, you got to remember, man, we've been psychologically brainwashed to believe that white daddy or our white pimp is all we got. So, you know, when you think about we have fought in every war, what has that got us? When you think about we have fought in every war, what has that got us? It hasn't gotten us anything, nowhere near any kind of able to self actualize our own destiny. We haven't been able fighting in all those wars, haven't granted us no voting rights, no housing, no way to be treated fairly in this country. Out of all the wars we have fought, it hasn't benefited us. So your question is to a great degree, and receipts prove that. Right now, you got almost 50 something generals. Two of them are black. Even Colin Powell talked about how if he didn't get a second chance, they propped him up because he was a safe Negro. And he's from West Indies. He wasn't really an African American. He's from the islands. Now I know the island people don't get despondent, but there is a difference because you guys come with another revolutionary spirit than we do. I mean, saying a lot of the islander people got a real fight in them, and they willing to die. Uh, from Marcus Garvey on down. But we, Black Americans are. We've been invented by white people. We were bred here, so we screwed up. But to answer your question, yeah, our involvement in this country at every juncture of this country has garnered us nothing, and we accept nothing. We don't demand nothing. We don't collectively work together because we got some power. We got some power.
I agree with you. Made me think about that is how that judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse case.
Mm-hmm.
See how he got to be in, how the judge was acting as a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
What was our lawyer at for the Flint Water case? I mean, the judge that was acting in defense for the people of Flint.
Mm-hmm.
Like how they went for him. And you had way more people poisoned. It's just like, I mean, I just see it as we playing that game, but it's playing us.
Yeah, it's truly. I like how you put it. Yeah, we are definitely being played by the game because we, to begin with, they don't respect us as a body of people. So that's why the judge didn't care about us being affected by the water poisoning. Uh, when you care about the people, you do something about it. When you care about somebody, you make sure they got reparations or they are restored from the damage because that's what it's called. You restoring what was broken. But first, you got to classify them as human beings worthy of being restored. At no turn are we looked at as human beings. So, I mean, you in any space, I don't care in any spaces you in. I don't care how much they want to suck the white man's toes. I don't care how white they want to act. I don't care how Republican they want to be.
Right.
I think and white people are clear. They use us up from birth. They create us from birth. They create white Negroes from birth.
I agree.
And so when you got your Ben Carsons and your Candace Owens, it's not no anomalies. Condoleezza Rice, that's not the unusual. That's the norm when you're talking about being created by the white system.
No, I totally agree with you.
So I think more so than anything, how do we handle? And the question you should ask me, brother, is how do we handle the insanity? How do we look at ourselves every day and feel that we have a place here in America and that the laws will protect us? How do we change that? Meaning self ownership from top to bottom. I mean, real talk, self ownership, what does that really, really look like? Self ownership from top to bottom.
That sounds like accountability.
I think so. When you ask a black person about going on vacation, where the first place they say they're gonna go?
Besides Miami, Vegas.
No, no, out the country.
And it's about, I mean,
Europe.
right.
Most black people, when they say they're going out the country, they're going to Paris.
London.
They never say a country in Africa. Think about that, brother. They never say a country in Africa. I got a granddaughter been to several. She's an airline stewardess. We have had some rough conversations. Cause I told her she white. She'd been in about 30 countries and not one of them black. I mean, she go to Cancun and all that's to Brazil and all that kind of stuff, but she ain't been to Africa. Not one country on the continent of Africa. And she got the nerve to want to check me. Exactly. That's my point.
That's what it is. But right. But that's why what you said, I said accountability. Because why we ain't got no Black Wall Street in Flint?
Accountability. The reason we have no Black Wall Street in Flint because, black people have no agenda. Black people have no plan. And black people are scared of white people. They will not work together. Because most black people in Flint work for somebody white. What do black people own in Flint? I mean, really, what do they own?
Working for some.
No. Name one black business that you can, that's employing more than 25 or 50 people. One black business, and don't use Young out there on Dordt Highway, the environmental company, Larry Young, because he white. Leela McGee and them. So don't use that because they hire all white people.
Are you serious?
Most of them are white. Yeah.
Hold on. You talk about the sister, right? The pro-black sister.
Right. I mean, but her best friend is Mr. Young. But Mr. Young has an environmental company. You're not familiar with his company out there on Dordt Highway? Oh, okay. Well, Mr. Young has a multi-million-dollar black man, multi-million-dollar company out on Dordt Highway. It's an environmental company. They call him in when environmental hazards happen. But most of his workforce are white. Multi-million-dollar company. His brother was locked up with me. But, I mean, when you think about NAACP or Karen Weaver, you think about how do we treat each other. Karen Weaver and all these people, they're supposed to be players in our community.
Right.
Why we don't work together? Just because you're not in office, how can we open up our own businesses, our own schools, our own chain? When you think about a community and that dollar changing hands, 30, our own pizzerias, our own gas station, our own liquor stores, our own ice cream parlors, whatever we use, renter centers, whatever we use, stop going to Red Lobster. Stop going to Applebee. Stop going to these businesses, man.
We supporting our own demise. I mean, but that right there, that's painful what you just said.
What?
About a black man with environmental services. And he got a majority, he's hiring majority white people. That's terrible. But then these are some of the people that are the leadership, what you just called out of leaderships in the community.
Yeah.
So is it really leadership in the community?
No. It's people off of self. And then when you think about just like with Lear, any country like you familiar with Coleman Young told him, say, it's got to be 50% black representation when you bring a contract in this city.
Right.
We don't do that. And we 80% black.
That's the leadership again.
Because we don't demand it. Now, if leadership demanded it, it would happen. If leadership demanded it, when you putting these contracts together, you making it clear that I need this workforce to represent my community. But you got people that work in that truck and bus that live in Alpena and Traverse City. They drive down here every day to work at truck and bus. You got people that live outside of the county work at Lear.
But that is on the leadership then. But that's go to city council, that go to the mayor.
Yes.
Hiring, it should be 50-50. You know what I'm saying? That's on them.
And Karen Weaver and them gave Lear a tax break. Insane, man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Insane, man.
That's the point that I was making. Like, because I seen somebody made a comment. I ain't gonna no play, but when they was trying to say, basically they was justifying what's going on now, saying that the mayors have been doing this with what you're seeing now. So basically trying to justify, basically it was justifying what Neely was doing.
Right.
Trying to justify what people did before him, but that don't make it right.
No, it don't make it right because again, if you can say, just like you or any of us, if we're gonna justify what we did before and we know it was wrong, that's a real problem, brother. Because if you know that people were affected by what your laws or policy was implemented, and you did it again and saying, well, because the last administration did it,
Right.
or previously, or that's the game. Right. See, it goes back to the game. Right. So once you learn the rules of the game, and the rules are unfair, and they change the rules while you playing the game, right. Oh man, it's time to break the game up. See, that's what we don't want to do. They changing the rules while we in the game. They tell us, play by the rules. Make sure when a white person walk, you step on the sidewalk. If it's muddy, if you don't look a white person in their face, they say whenever you work and bend over and spread them, if a white person want to sodomize you, you do it, you don't complain, right? That's what they say, right, to keep your job. But then, how do you do that and be a real human being and not decide to say, I'm going to change my condition even if I got to make a sacrifice?
And that's what I think we need to do because we got, like, for instance, and I get what some people be saying when they like, well, the different groups when we begging. That's what it be seeming like sometimes we do. We begging for these council people to do right. We begging for this mayor to do right. We begging for the governor to do right. Why it's been 7 years since this water been fixed. Why ain't nobody still, that ain't the number one priority?
And again, that's on us as a group of people in Flint. Right. Had we, again, not signed anything with nothing legally for this water, had we all not paid our water bills, had we all, to this day, 7 years later, been camping out at City Hall.
Right.
Had we had some Johnny Cochrans or find some lawyers that is going to fight, and then had we turned our back on city council and the mayor said that we have no confidence in you.
Right.
So we don't want you representing us.
Right.
We're going to go find some outside representation. See, when the citizens say, we are not working, we're not buying, right, we are, like me, I'm on a hunger fast now. And today, just drinking water and juices until they pass the voting rights bill. Now I've asked some other people to go on a hunger strike with me. Don't support Christmas or Thanksgiving. Don't eat nothing. Don't eat no solid food, right, until they pass this voting right bill, right? Why am I doing it? I'm doing it for my internal self. I'm doing something and putting it out there that maybe others may click into it. Right. But that's doing something. A hunger strike. Like the Dalai Lama and all those other people that, Sharpton and all these other people have done hunger strikes before. So I got to thinking and listening to Joe Madison. Joe Madison say he on a hunger strike until they pass this voting rights bill.
And plus he from Flint.
Yes. And so I'm saying, yeah, I can feel that. I'm on board with that. And so I'm asking others.
That's a good cause, though.
Yes, it's an excellent cause. But just like with every idea,
Right.
it can be an idea until it's accepted by the masses and become actualized. If not, it will just sit for thousands of years and nothing will come of it. So how do we encourage others to go on a hunger strike and boycott the NFL, watching it and playing? Boycott the NBA, watching it and playing. How do we encourage those athletes to stop? They don't even have to have a conversation. Just stop. Just don't show up no more.
Right. Shut it down.
That's it. Don't show up.
But that's the question. How can we get our people to really wake up, as they say, wake up out of this matrix that they in? Because as you can see, this thing ain't getting better; it's getting worse. How can you get people involved? Like you didn't poison them with the water.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't kill family members, loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
What is it gonna take? What's next to get took from?
Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't poison, death didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next thing that got to be did for them to wake up? Because it's got to be something catastrophic.
Oh, catastrophic! I think that's what's going to happen. I think many of us, Clarence and Becky with the good hair. I think we love white people so much that we feel that they're going to come around and treat us uh, humane. So yeah, I do think it's got to be catastrophic. I think it's got to be like a total genocide. I think it's got to be a mass, like a mass. I think this attack on voting, once these people realize they can't vote, I think that might get them crying, actually doing something. I don't think so. Because like you seen the other day when how Tony Dungy is a despicable black man. I can't stand him. I can't stand that black Tony Dungy. I hate him. If I hate a man, I hate him. He gonna give, and Stephen A. Smith, terrible black people, man. The way they talk about black people, Aaron Rodgers and all them people, Jeff Gruden, and them owners them owners ain't changed from being plantation owners. Their vocabulary, their verbiage hasn't changed. Their linguistics has not changed. The way they talk about us, the way they talk about women, the way they deplore women, the way they sexually abuse women. Ain't none of that changed for hundreds of years, man. And then you got Tony Dungy.
What did he do, Brother Roberts?
He on national TV said, we need to give John Gruden a second chance, and he's being misunderstood.
Shit.
That he knows John Gruden, and that's not the man that he knows.
So he basically capping for his daddy.
For his daddy.
So that's what that is.
For his daddy. And this is the same black man, the son committed suicide, on their
went Super Bowl. They was going to the Super Bowl.
I think so afterward, but he committed suicide on their palatial property. His son committed suicide, and I see why. If I had a father like you, Tony Dungy, I wouldn't kill myself. I don't think you'd be around. Anyway, so it's just those kind of niggas. Go ahead.
I just said allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, allegedly. We got to preference that like we do with she, he pronoun. So allegedly, what my technician said, keeping me from getting in trouble. Because I'm clear, I'm clear how I feel in the stance that I'm taking. And again, that's another black man. And so black on black crime, why do black people kill each other? Some black people, Clarence Thomas, and a lot of these black people need to need to need to believe. Uh, I guess my technician will advise me to say, y'all just need to believe. Before we close out, I just want to continue to always mm, encourage our community. This community conversation, we being committed. We're trying to open this forum up for our community. We try to give you guys always something to do. Today, something to do. Love yourself, self care, hug yourself, look in the mirror. Electrifying Mojo had this saying: when you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and keep on hanging because there ain't nobody bad like you. And I love how he used to say that. And it used to inspire me, man, being part of the MFA Club Midnight Funk Association and just his and just what he brought to music, his intergalactic um, essence, and many times took me to another realm of my musical intimacy, uh, and really embracing other cultures of music. Even though I played music when I was younger, I was a drummer, percussionist, but I've always been in love with all types of music. Even when I played in the orchestra, I loved a little Bach, a little Beethoven. Uh, but even them, you think about how it's all a language. Music is a beautiful language that is universal. And it's so important for us to embrace the universe of each other, you know. Um, so again, I'm going to go over some things right quick before I close out. Thank our community always. Thank our community. I hope I said something that was impactful. I hope I said something that will spark your mind and interest again about, going on a hunger strike. You know, we are engaging this Monday. We will be at New Standards. That's next to Old Northwestern Old Powers, 6:45 and 7:45 a.m. Come out and help a child smile as they walk into the school. We celebrate them. We think they're the greatest creation on earth. Also, we are reaching out. We have a upcoming holiday giveaway. We need everything from coats, underwears, pants, clothing, everything new, books, toys, everything new. Please drop them off and help us to touch somebody else's life that's not fortunate. Um, Also, we are engaging in a mentoring program at Southwestern on Wednesday, 25 boys, called Rites of Passage program. The involved dad, men of valor, trying to build that, make that happen, trying to get men to walk the halls of the schools. Also, we are dealing with the Urban Boy Scouts, 4 to 6 on Wednesday at Mr. Moore's Barbershop across from Regency Condos. Also, we do a 6 to 7 with brother EJ, First Class Cuts. He have the Flint Flames. There's also a little basketball program. And again, I just really thank my technician. I thank the leadership of Black Lives Matter, our queens that's connected to us, Miss Nicole, Miss Satara, Brother Mike, Darius. Uh, we got what you call it, the guy, when people are come in for 10 days, they sit on the bench or they fill ins. Our role players, Mr. Rodney, those other fillers, we thank you guys. And again, we send a shout out to Mr. Robertson. He's under the weather. Pray to him and his children and family are safe and will be healed, because we know sickness is just all around us. So we got to, I got my mask off, but I got it right here. So I'm serious about wearing my mask. I'm not playing. I know this. I know this ain't no joke. And again, as always, I'm Hubert Naeem Roberts. Phone number 810-394-4105. MentorRoberts@gmail.com. Again, if you guys are interested and want to come down, be a part of our activism work. Black Lives Matter Flint Incorporated need our community to allow this to be a vehicle that's going to be standing up and really having an impact in our community. Again, love our community.